All right, good morning, Babylon. It's Kinninigan. I'm going to talk off the cuff here for a second. Yeah. Oh, like I've never done that before. Don't worry, it's not going to be a rant that's going to get me banned off YouTube. In fact, I don't think YouTube loves me anymore. They don't even give me community guideline strikes. Let's see. I had to take one video down because they didn't like that one. Yeah, whenever they age restrict one of my videos, that's a major red flag because I don't monetize my YouTube videos. This is why you have people on YouTube inventing like new language. They won't say rape or suicide or any. We have free speech in America. I can say whatever I want unless I'm physically threatening someone or you. Yeah, and even that's gone out the window, right? As long as you're a liberal, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. You know, you could threaten anyone's life, and God forbid you are a Christian, or even worse, like me, a Catholic, and that's really the point of this rant. I even got away with calling Erica Kirk a transformer Decepticon. They video cannot be monetized. Hello. Yeah. So anyway, it's 10 degrees outside. Listen, me and the cats, we have food. In fact, one of my cats is sleeping right next to me, Macy. Her belly's full. She's warm. She heard her name, so her ears perked up. Go back to sleep, sweetie hearts. It's all right. Positive affirmations. That's why my cats love me. I'm a cat person, and there's a reason I'm a cat person. I'm a Leo. I understand cats. Um, when they want to be pet, when they want affection, and when you should leave them alone. And yeah, so it is what it is. Anyway, I do need one thing though. I do need marijuana, so if anyone wants to support my channel, I greatly appreciate it. I do not monetize my videos. Otherwise, I get emails from YouTube. Video cannot be monetized. No shit. This is why I don't put the monetization on. They would nuke my channel because they'd have to monetize, review all my videos, and that's how I think I got a couple channels taken off YouTube. The staff just got fed up with having to review all my videos. Specifically, when I would do this in the morning and have drunken rants. Now, I got a donation last night from Kalina. Wasn't a whole lot, but you bought me a 6 pack of beer. I took a walk to the deli last night and got some beer. And I was playing music, not on my guitar. I was playing like, I used to be a rave DJ, more or less. And I still got skills. I thought to myself, damn, I should come out of retirement. People have been asking me for live streams. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I would do it. First of all, I need a haircut. My hair is long right now. Um, but yeah, I could live stream, and maybe I should. It would be beneficial for everyone. I did very good live streams, used to. But here's one thing I want to talk about. There, I had kind of an epiphany, and when sometimes to see like the full spectrum of what's going on with current and political events, you have to step outside the box and look into it, and then I noticed something. I've been telling people for many years that Luciferians have been at basically war with women, and they absolutely despise women. This is an evil that goes back to biblical times, going back to the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, Eve tempting Adam with her sex, and the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest written. I don't know if you would call it a poem or what you would call, but it's an ancient text. And that story involves Gilgamesh rejecting the love of Ishtar and forming a brotherhood with his brethren Enkidu so they could hunt down Humbaba the Terrible in Cedar Forest. That's actually a reference to Sasquatch. Yeah. I'm going to make a video about Sasquatch and tying it in with Sumerian mythology, and a lot of Sasquatch researchers aren't going to like it because facts are facts, and Same thing I get with the reptilian research I do. They just ignore me because the facts are, yeah, whatever. But what I want to talk about is socially what's going on. I noticed something. Um, I'm just gonna say this flat out. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm getting very agitated at quote unquote far right people that identify as MAGA and the far left people who identify as liberal. Because I was going through some videos last night and I noticed something. I'm watching white men who claim to be quote unquote MAGA attacking quote unquote liberal white women. And on the other end of the spectrum, I see liberal white women attacking white men who are quote unquote MAGA or Trump tards. And then I realized something. Yeah, this is exact. You are falling into exactly what the Illuminati want you to do. Caucasian people make up roughly 64% of the population of the United States of America. If you wanted to take over the United States of America, the easiest way to do it is called subversion. You get the biggest group of people who are white people, and you have them fight with each other. This is the idea of how they started the world wars, and every day it's just getting more and more extreme. Go look at videos of people protesting the ICE agents out in Minneapolis. They're all white, and they're mainly women. And I've always adored women. I treat them with respect. I open doors for them. I never disrespect women. And God forbid you're in my presence and you do disrespect a woman. But that's how I was raised. I was brought up very I was brought up in a rough Irish family, but with strong foundation. Respect women. Respect your elders. And it just annoys me to see that all this it's not black against white, it's not white against Latino. No, it's white people against white people right now. And it's disgusting. And a lot of times you'll hear me breaking Freemasons balls, telling you, yeah, they're Democrat and Republican, but they're all fucking Freemason going to the lodge together. And it's kind of the same concept. I don't think it's a coincidence that the iconic quote unquote liberal woman is despised by quote unquote MAGA men. And I was like, this is exactly what they want. Because this is a depopulation agenda to usher in their quote unquote new world order, where they want 90% of the world's population to disappear and kill themselves. And they really don't want to have a nuclear holocaust because of the radiation and the after effects. Reptilians aren't going to be able to feed off losh if there's no people around because it's radioactive, right? No, the future is not going to look like some post-apocalyptic Mad Max scenario. But what they are doing is getting people to fight with each other. And it's not just white people. There are black people that are infighting right now. You have liberal black women who identify as like BLM, and I'm watching YouTube videos from real, and I know real black people from the hood. They despise Antifa, BLM. A lot of black people from the hood support Donald Trump. I don't know if you know this. One of the reasons why, did you know Donald Trump got a lot of black people released from prison? I think he did that in his first term where he had their sentencing. I forget the name of the executive order, but it got a lot of people released from prison. And for a lot of these Antifa people out there, I'm going to tell you straight up, if you get arrested and go to prison, you do know that there are like the Aryan Brotherhood in prison who worship Hitler. They actually worship Nazis. So you go around calling like MAGA people Nazis all day. You're going to go to prison, fuck around, find out, and you're going to run into real Nazis. And it's not going to work out too well for you. And they do not respect transgenders or pronouns in prison. I watched a few videos from people that actually spent time in prison, and they're saying, like, these people, these Antifa, they don't know what they're getting into. but this is what the elite want by design. Now, they had the meeting at Davos this week, and I told you this entire week is it's a satanic holiday. Candlemas is actually what it is, and it's a 7-day time frame that involves like human sacrifice and all that. I was going to make another video about what's really going on in Davos. It's basically a bunch of pagans getting together for a big ritual. Spirit cooker Marina Abramovich was there. She actually might be a high. I think she has a penis, so she is able to perform black magic ritual. But yeah, what do I know? But the point is the whole point of this quote unquote liberal movement and the far right MAGA movement, which was really kind of it started with the QAnon stuff, Q actually, and that's when we saw like kind of the first divide. And then I realized I'm starting to see people that claim to be conservative. They claim to be quote unquote patriotic conservative. They identify as MAGA. Yet you're sitting there talking about white women all day. Like they're the evil of the earth. And I was like, this is what's taught in high levels of Luciferianism. How can you claim to be a far right patriotic Christian? Look, uh, I and you also have some other things going on here. One is MK Ultra mind control. Sadly, which has happened with a lot of these people on the far right and the far left. And then here, let me put this in perspective. People claim to be either MAGA, which is another word for magi, which is a black magic term for a magician, or they claim to be far left. And left is a reference to the left hand of Satanism. That's when you decalcify your pineal gland, but do it in a way that you're going to use it for black magic. In fact, somebody asked me if I could give them a link to the video on how to decalcify your pineal gland, and I did, because I did make that video. It came from a book called Secrets of the Ninja, right here. Yeah, it's on my Odyssey channel. Why don't I decalcify my pineal gland? I tried it before, and sound becomes very your senses become heightened when it first happens, and when you live in a city like me with nonstop police sirens and police helicopters, the noise, I couldn't take it. I understand why people go to Zen monasteries in the middle of nowhere to do this, because that is something. But it's kind of the same. That's called the left-hand path. The middle path is when you decalcify your pineal gland for enlightenment, which is what the Illuminati do not want us to do. There's a reason they pump fluoride in our water. It's to calcify our pineal glands. But that's a whole other thing. But what I really am getting disgusted at is, yeah, the left and right infighting, specifically between white people. It's ridiculous. In fact, it's becoming sickening. Yeah, I heart all my comments. So I don't know how we fix this, because there's nothing more disgusting than seeing some person on the quote unquote far right conservative talking shit about liberal women. It's like, hello, like this shouldn't be going on. Like I I think what it is I have a good concept of what's going on deeper, like on an esoteric level, and why these people have become conditioned to think the way they do. But I'm telling you right now, it's obnoxious. And it makes me disgusted seeing people that are far left liberal fighting with quote unquote people that are far right MAGA, right and left. That's not the middle path. There's the right hand path of Luciferianism, and there's the left hand path. This is by design. It's Masonic coding right in front of your face. But ultimately, they're getting what they want. They're getting white people to fight with each other over politics, and mainly politics, which is basically controlled by a bunch of goat riding Freemason who, at the end of the day, they're not Republican, They're not Democrat. It's all a fucking act and a show they put on for you. Just like the trials they're having in Congress with the January 6th and all that stuff. Has anyone been arrested for the Epstein Island stuff? Has anyone been arrested for stealing billions of dollars from the government and taxpayers? No, nobody's been arrested. Yet what is happening is we got people on both sides wanting to kill each other, and at the end of the day, it's mainly white people, and this is by design, and everyone is falling for it. They're exploiting mental health, but there is a slice of good. Now, like I tell people, yeah, I am a heavy marijuana user. I haven't had weed in 2 days, so I'd appreciate it if you could support my channel, because quite honestly, we're getting a winter storm, and I don't know if I'll be able to get a hold of my weed dealer if we have too much snow on the ground. But anyway, here's the thing. I told you a lot of people in the hood support Donald Trump and they're patriotic. You want to know why? A lot of people in the hood smoke marijuana. Marijuana breaks MK Ultra mind control. You don't see a lot of potheads protesting for against ICE, or it's insane. So as I'm noticing, quite honestly, I'm getting sick of the amount of content on YouTube. It's just like people that claim to be far right conservative, and all they do is make YouTube videos bitching about woke all day. They don't even know what woke means. Woke is actually a war against women. This is why the amount of let's just be honest, transgenderism has gone up recently in the past few years, because this is actually what they're trying to do. They do not want white men marrying white women and having white babies, because the minorities for them are actually a smaller percentage of the population. If black people took up 64% of the population in the United States, you'd be damn sure they'd be having black people go to war. Well, black people, I'm not going to get into the politics of black people, but I look, I'm from Philly. I know a lot of people from the hood. My weed dealer is from the hood. Let's just put it that way. So I get very good insight. And actually, a lot of people from the hood, they watch my YouTube videos. They have a great deal of interest in the Illuminati, reptilians, UFOs. They do. But you see, like, these people, and yeah, what we're seeing with the far right and the far left is it's getting out of control. And now we basically have white people fighting with white people over politics, which is all fucking controlled by secret societies in the first place. You think your vote even matters when you go to the ballot box? It doesn't. I don't know if anyone clued you in, but Israel is basically running our government right now. Hello. Yeah, but what do I know? Anyway, we got a winter storm coming. I might do a separate video about this today. I have a feeling that this winter storm that's coming to America right now is a weather weapon. Probably deployed by China. Why? Because China has a lot of presence in South America where they could actually, if you know about weather patterns and the way they move, like this storm is coming up from the south towards the northeast, and think about it, South America. This is why China has been taking over certain parts of South America, and so they can sell their fentanyl to the United States to kill military-age fighting men. And you want to talk about racism? Now the CCP, they actually are some of the most despicable racists on planet Earth. Talking about white people again, has anyone stopped to think why all of a sudden they hate Russia so much? Because it's the largest country on planet Earth it has the largest white Christian population on planet Earth. Hello? Why do you think they just had this charade out in Minneapolis where Don Lemon and a bunch of quote unquote liberal protesters stormed a church? Yeah, that was to rile up Christians. And then, like I said, what's even more disgusting is seeing far right people who claim to be MAGA and patriotic and Christian attacking liberal women. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I have a good intellect, and usually I'm able to see below the surface on things. I should have saw this coming sooner, but it's getting out of control now. It's like America should be operating as a family. You know, you have brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter if they vote Republican or Democrat or liberal, they're still your brother or sister, right? No one's going to hate their mother because of the way they vote. Well, some people might, but that's just letting you know that politics has gotten to their head too much, and you know they're exploiting. And they believe me, the CIA for many years has perfected the social engineering that they do. They know how to trigger people, and now it's just becoming disgusting seeing the amount of infighting that's going on in the United States. And if anyone, because no country in the world, the only one that probably could give us a fair run for our money if we went head to head in combat would be Russia. Let's be honest. But China, they're a paper tiger. But so China's tactic for to take over the United States has been to collapse it from within, and that's exactly what they're doing. So now, when I see people on YouTube with their "Make America Great Again" red hats talking about woke people and trannies and they hate liberal women, then I see other YouTube video with liberal women saying how much they hate MAGA men. I'm like, you just are falling for the fucking trap here. What are you doing? It's 2026. Racism should not exist on planet Earth anymore. First of all. Secondly, now they're, and this is where a lot of the racism stuff that you see mainstream media doing, the race baiting, white guilt. What white guilt? All right, the fucking New World. America was here forever. Anyone from Africa, Europe, China could have built a fucking boat, came to the United States, fought the Native Americans, and claimed it as your own country. Don't give me that race baiting, white supremacy, white privilege bullshit. Okay. Anyway, in fact, the Spanish tried to come over and conquer America. It didn't work out too well for them. The conquistadors, they actually got their asses handed to them by like the Aztecs and stuff. But yeah, I study history, but it's the same concept. Don't give me this white guilt bullshit. All right. Uh, and the fact that we're even talking about racism in 2026, we should be moving on as a human civilization. Skin color shouldn't mean anything. But ultimately, there's a reason why you're seeing most of the liberal movement being white women and a lot of the far right movement being white men. That's by design. And I fell for it for a little while. I was only supporting it because I thought pedophiles were going to be arrested. Never happened. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of my rant. I'm going to get some more coffee. If you could support my channel, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, this storm coming through the United States right now, I think this is a weather weapon. Possibly being deployed by China. Word on the street is that they were not amused by us taking over Venezuela. So yeah, I'm talking to all white people. Can't we all just get? You need to put down this pun intended Mickey Mouse bullshit, and we need to all start getting along. There's a reason, and this is by design. Um, anyway, when that happens, because they have to have us at war with each other, because that's what they do, and they've been doing it. uh, This is actually a metaphor of the Tower of Babel, going all the way back to the reptilians in Babylon. Why they confused people's languages so we couldn't communicate with one another. And Now, when you have like liberal white women wishing death on far right MAGA men and the assholes on the far right, and some of them, they're, I'll be honest, a lot of quote unquote content creators here on YouTube that claim to be MAGA are, you're pretty damn pathetic. And quite honestly, I'm not amused by you attacking any type of woman, even liberal women. It's getting disgusting at this point. And I don't know how long can you keep a YouTube channel going where you're just talking about everything that's fucking woke all day. The woke, yeah, whatever. It's by design. There's a reason why they're putting out TV shows like Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, with these transgender Klingons in it. It's by design to trigger you and keep you fighting. Most people don't even realize the whole woke movement was an attack on real, natural women. But what do I know? Social engineering was the last video I was going to make on my Rome and Greenland series, and I'm thinking maybe I should do that because that's what's going on right now, social engineering. Yeah, Rome and the Greenland theory. The only reason I didn't make that lecture was because I will have to talk about transgenderism and the attack on women, and that's not a topic that they like me talking about on YouTube. Whatever. So, yeah, all I'm saying is we need to get people to stop fighting, right? At the end of the day, what are liberals fighting for right now in Minneapolis? Illegal immigrants who are stealing taxpayer money. That's kind of a that's the cause you're getting behind. And Trump was put there. He was intentionally put there as a martyr for people to attack. He's the rich oligarch white man that you're supposed to hate. Although everybody loved Donald Trump before he became president, and that's the truth. Um, I mean, he had his own TV show, The Apprentice. Anyone remember? And that was by design. They're giving you someone to hate, and then under him came the umbrella of the far right, quote unquote, MAGA movement, who have now just resorted to a bunch of narcissistic assholes attacking women all day. And on the far left, the liberal people, you have these people just attacking MAGA and patriotism all day, and it's disgusting. And sadly, if we don't fix this shit and get our heads out of our ass, this will cause the downfall of the United States, and that's kind of what they're aiming for. So yeah, that's kind of my rant today. Anyway, it's better take the middle path. Don't stray too far left. Don't stray too far right. Always take the middle path, and that's some Buddhist wisdom for you. That's general everyday wisdom for you. Always take the middle path. Don't become extreme on either side, and that's what we're saying. And at this point, it's getting disgusting. I can show you my YouTube feed right now. It's full of nothing but people bitching about woke stuff and the other side bitching about conservative stuff. But at the end of the day, a majority of them are all white people. And believe me, you have it going on with Hispanics and black people too. Black people are calling out black people's bullshit who identifies liberal. People like Whoopi Goldberg and Don Lemon, and yeah, they're calling their own out. But I'm speaking for white people as a white Catholic. Yeah, get your head out of your ass. This is exactly what they wanted. And now we've gotten to the point in 2026, thousands of years of human evolution, and we've literally gotten to the point where you have white men fighting with white women. Anything they could do to keep you from getting along, falling in love, and having children. And that was the intent to start with. You fell for it. And meanwhile, the Democrats and Republicans who cause all this shit go back to the Masonic Lodge. They're not Republican or Democrat when they walk through those doors, and they all go play Ride to Go together, get drunk, and fucking laugh about the chaos they started. Anyway, That's all I'm going to say before getting myself in too much trouble. Yeah, it's a politically sensitive topic, but that's the whole purpose of it. I was taught something when I worked in sales for many years when I was a car salesman. Never talk about religion or politics in front of people because you never know who you're going to offend. I sold cars. I sold cars to priests. I sold cars to gangbangers. I sold cars to gay people. I didn't care who you voted for. I didn't care what color skin you had. I didn't care where you fell politically. If you had money to buy a car, I was selling you a car. And that's the attitude you had to have going and work every day. And if you're not going to make it in sales if you think otherwise, it was something I was taught a very long time ago. Plus, I went in the National Guard when I was 16 years old under the late entry program. So that is a big shocker for diversity because I was in the National Guard where we had Jews, blacks, Puerto Ricans, white people, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, everyone. And we all got along, and it was a brotherhood. So I learned from a very early age race doesn't mean shit, okay? Yeah, you learn real fast when you serve in the military that racism doesn't exist anymore. You're all green, as they say when you go like to boot camp. You're not black. You're not white. Yeah, you're all equally worthless. Yeah, that's a Full Metal Jacket reference right there. Anyway, it's all for my rant. You want to support the channel? I am debating whether I should do the last lecture I wanted to do on Rome and the Greenland theory, social engineering. I think the world needs it. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, yes, people on the far right claiming to be MAGA conservatives, you're almost as pathetic as the far left liberals because you don't get the whole point of the thing. They're foaming out the mouths, the elite are, when they see white women fighting with white men. That's exactly what they wanted. Put politics and religion aside for a second and think about what it is to be human. All right? That's all. I think in my old age, I'm becoming more of a philosopher in my old age, but oh well. That's what happens, right? Any questions or comments, leave them below. If you can support the channel, all the links are in the description. Take care. And be safe. Yeah, we got a big storm coming all across the United States. And yes, I do believe this is a weather weapon. Take care, and God bless.